Hi, welcome to the demo for JIRA with MAXIMO-IT. So in this video, we are going to learn how to integrate JIRA with MAXIMO-IT, how an overview of this integration, and then how MAXIMO-IT is integrated with JIRA and what all can be achieved with this integration. And lastly, how to configure your MAXIMO-IT for JIRA integration. So we can integrate Jira software with Maximo IT. As we know, Maximo IT it already gives the user the ability to raise tickets for IT services, asset requests, service requests, etc., which also includes raising any issues on the software or anything. Now, for Jira is an agile project management tool that can be integrated with Maximo IT. So the all the processes of raising tickets and managing these tickets and service requests, these can be done in parallel with Jira, and we can also raise Jira issues via Maximo IT. When the two are integrated, these tickets and these issues can be synced. This already it makes it easier to manage your software projects and track your issues and in a much easier way. So when we integrate Jira with with Maximo IT, so once this integration is achieved, there are these following actions that you can perform. So the first and the main one is you can create issues in Jira. So for all the Maximo IT incidents that are created in Maximo IT, Jira tasks will be automatically created. So whatever summary and details that you enter for a Maximo IT ticket or an incident, they are all exactly reflected in a Jira task. So a corresponding Jira task is formed for all your Maximo IT tickets, right? So this is what this integration enables us to do. Another one is you can update an issue. So any issue that is updated in Jira, for example, you are updating the status, you're updating the priority or the description in anything. If you make any update in Jira, so those changes, those updates, they will also reflect in Maximo IT incident ticket. So these changes are automatically synced in the two, right? And the third one is work log update. So updates made in Jira defect comments will reflect as work log in Maximo IT incident. In Jira, when anything is changed or mentioned in comments, those are saved in the work log section. In any incident, there is a tab called as work log, which it records all the changes made in comments for new comments added or updated comments. All of these information is tracked in work log tab in Maximo IT. So this is what we can achieve with this integration. So next we will be going to our Maximo IT environment and see how these actions are performed, and we will try to create a ticket in Maximo IT ticket and see how it is created in Jira as well. And then we will try to make an update in Jira to see how it's reflected in Maximo IT. And for this, the third one, work log update also, we'll see how this can be done. So next we'll jump up to our Maximo IT environment.
So we are inside Maximo IT and now we'll start configuring Maximo IT for this Jira integration. Okay. So first we go to this endpoint application and we will create a new endpoint. The first step would be to create a new endpoint. This is the endpoints application. So to create a new endpoint, you can select here new endpoint from common actions. This opens and now you can give a name for your new endpoint here and choose a handler and add properties. So I have a demo created for it already with the name Jira 21 here. So with this, as you can see in this endpoint, there are these properties. So to note what all configuration that you have to do is endpoint is JIRA, some name, and handler is as HTTP, right? Handler you can select as HTTP. This should be selected as HTTP. Inside properties, yeah, handler, from, as you can see, there are other options. We need to choose HTTP for this integration, right? Going into the properties, we have the headers section here. This is the value that should be there for the headers part. All such information would be given in docs for your reference. For HTTP method, this is the value that should be there, that is get for the HTTP method. Then there is this password. This is the JIRA password. There is an API token generated for JIRA that we'll see in the JIRA configuration. But this is the password that is used to log into JIRA using that API token. So that password is set here. That API token is entered here for JIRA login, right? So this is the password for JIRA that you add here. Next, we have this URL. This URL is the domain name where your JIRA is installed. So this is the value of that VM address where JIRA is there, to which we will be integrating our MAXIMO-IT with, right? And this is the username that is being used to log into JIRA. So these are the properties. These are all the properties that must be set to get started with this integration. So to just summarize, this is the endpoint, this is handler HTTP, and then you have the headers, which is this HTTP method should be get, password is your JIRA password, and URL is the domain name where your JIRA is kept, right? And the last is the username for the JIRA using which we are logging into JIRA. After this endpoint creation, the next step would be to create a new domain. So to create that new domain, we will go to the domains application. So to create this domain, you must click on this blue button, add new domain, and select add new ALN domain. We are looking to create an ALN domain, so we select this. And this dialog box open where it requires you to enter a domain name, a data type, and length. The value here should be ALN since we are creating an ALN domain, of course. And all these properties, they need to be set here. Okay. So as a dummy domain name, I've already created one, that is JIRA endpoint. Here it is. So let's open it and see. So as you can see, there is this domain name, JIRA endpoint. Data type is ALN. Length is 50. This is what we have set. And in the ALN domains, we have added our domain, our endpoint. JIRA 21 is the endpoint that we created. Using this add new row, you can add a new ALN domain. And JIRA 21, your endpoint that you created in the previous step should be added here, along with the domain where JIRA is installed in the description part. In the description part, you enter the domain on which JIRA is installed. So this is done. You click, since this is already there, so I'm clicking cancel. Otherwise, you can click OK and click save. So next we want to blah blah. We want to make attributes now. So we go to the database configuration application. Here we have already created an object with the name ticket. So we're opening that ticket, and we want to create attributes here. So we go to the attributes section and then going to the attributes, click new row from here, and then you can add your new attributes like this. You can add your attribute name here, its title, description, type, length, and all these required fields should be added here. Okay. So obviously we have already created their attributes. So I'll search for them, click on this filter. One I've created is to go back first. Since we already started creating an attribute, so it's not allowing search. Go back and enter again. Ticket. Attributes. Right, so now we'll start searching JIRA. So just collapse this one. JIRA. Search again, JIRA. There we go. Create JIRA ticket and JIRA endpoint. These are the two attributes that we need to add in database configuration, right? So in create JIRA ticket, you need to add your attribute name. Title is auto-generated. Title is this. It is automatically filled. Description is create JIRA ticket. So, and type should be YOR, and that is yes or no. Okay. Later we'll see how this is being implied, but how this is applied in the interface. But for now, these are the attributes that you need to add, right? So just note how these attributes are being added. Later on, you'll see their application once we get into the use cases. Second one is the JIRA endpoint. JIRA endpoint is your attribute is JIRA endpoint, title JIRA endpoint, and description also JIRA endpoint. Here, type will be ALN, alphanumeric. Okay. For this endpoint, for this attribute, you need to create ALN type, and domain is JIRA endpoint. From here, you can go and select value from here, and it shows you can search JIRA endpoint. This is again the domain name that we created should be entered here, and type should be ALN. All of this properties are set on them by themselves. So these are the two attributes that are created. Okay. So once we have created these two attributes, if there is any time that we want to make any change to this configuration, we want to modify any value or attribute or anything inside these attributes, we can do one thing. To do that, there is an action called manage admin mode. In the more actions, you find this manage admin mode. If you click on this, this will help you turn on the admin mode, and then you can make any changes. Like for example, here we have turned admin mode on. If I click on this, it has started to set admin mode on. It will take some time, but when it does complete, the admin mode will be on, and that is when you can apply any configuration changes. You can click here, apply configuration changes. There's nothing to configure. This is because I haven't applied any configuration change as of now, so it's not picking anything. But if I apply a configuration change, it will then record it and it will help you save that change. But do remember, you can only apply configuration change once you have turned the admin mode on. that is a necessity to make any configuration change. So from here you can also see the log, what is happening, since it takes some time to turn the admin mode on. So logs are appearing here. So we must wait to let this process complete. Close. Still running. So now it's showing admin mode turn off. So this means it is now on. Refresh status. So since it's showing to turn admin mode off, that means it is on, and this is clear from a sign that appears on this MAXIMO-IT panel. Let me just refresh it. Then we'll be able to see. Stay on page. Page. Yeah. So on this panel, as you can see, admin mode is on. So this is the indicator that your admin mode is on. Now you can apply, if you have added any changes to your configuration, then you can apply them by clicking on apply configuration changes, and then those changes will be saved. But do remember that can only be done inside the admin mode. Okay. So I'm not changing anything, but if you wish to do so in any of the objects, then you can simply save and do all that by using this action. Okay, so we'll now move on to our next step. So we'll move on to the incidents application, where we will see these two attributes and how they are being applied in the scene. So we're selecting any incident, for example 100, we have in this list here. So in the incident tab, as you can see, there is this radio button, or what we call a checkbox, is by the name create JIRA ticket. So this checkbox represents nothing but the ability to integrate with JIRA, and when a ticket is created in MAXIMO-IT, does it create a ticket in JIRA also? It enables that functionality. If it is on, then it creates, otherwise not. And this is the JIRA endpoint combo box. Here we are entering the domain at which our JIRA is installed. So we need these two functionalities, and as you have noted previously, we have created attributes for exactly these two: create JIRA ticket and JIRA endpoint, right? So I've created attributes to enable these two functions here, or these two combo box and the checkbox here. So in the incident, we want to set these two. For this, we will go to the application designer, where all the setting is done, where all these two attributes or these two combo box and checkbox are added. So we are inside application designer now, and I've already created one with the name incident, since we are talking about incident. So we go to incident. Okay, so we go to incident, and something sort of this workspace opens up for us. Right now here we can set our visual items, or combo boxes, or check boxes, or drop downs, anything. Okay, we want to set an incident tab, so I've selected incident here, and we want to add a combo box and a checkbox somewhere around here. This is kind of showing the map that was there in the actual incident application, right? So we go to the control palette from common actions, and here you can see this is the checkbox and this is the combo box. These two things we are looking for here, we are trying to apply them here. So these are added on a drag and drop basis. you open this control palette and then you drag and drop these objects here so that they appear on your tabs, like in a visual form, as we were seeing in the incident application. This is where they're added from, right? So now we are looking for a space, since it is already quite packed. I'm looking for a space to add my either a comma box or a checkbox, but where do I add it? Let me check. It's all full here. It's a full house. Mhm. You see, the entire map can be set according to the user. Wherever they want any control palette item, they can have it however they want it. So let's see, I think I found a place. It is checkbox. I'm trying to drag and drop my checkbox. Mhm. Nope. Yeah, success. So checkbox is here. Close this control palette. I will go to this checkbox to set the properties, of course. Shows as invalid binding. I select, right click and select properties. Go to the label. This is what we want to appear as the name of the checkbox and the interface. So I want it as JIRA endpoint, and attribute I'm adding is create JIRA endpoint. No, wait. We are not talking about JIRA endpoint. I think we want create JIRA ticket. Sorry. So I'll go back. Excuse me. We don't want a JIRA endpoint. This is a create JIRA ticket checkbox, right? Sorry for that. So this is, we change it to create JIRA ticket. This is the label that we want. Question mark. Do you want to create a ticket on JIRA? For attribute, create JIRA ticket. This is again the same attribute that we created in previous steps. Create JIRA ticket. Here it is, ticket. Right? This is added, and now you can see you have a checkbox right there. This is the previous one. Now this is the new one, and I click on save, and then this is saved. Right? Same way you can add a combo box here. Success again, and I create. I click properties to set the properties here again. So here we'll have that endpoint, JIRA endpoint. Label is JIRA endpoint. At domain, sorry, in the attribute we'll be writing at JIRA endpoint. This is again the one that we created, and cross, and it's there now. And this is now, this will, once you save it, it will appear there. We already have one there. We already have these two there, so I will not be saving it. Just clear changes. But if you do save it, they are reflected on your incident tab in your incident application. So for now, I'm canceling it. So automation script is nothing but a code that acts like an interface between this integration that is known as MAXIMO-IT in JIRA. So that code is written in the form of automation script, and that code acts like an interface between these two applications, right? To do that, we go to the automation script application where we enable this code. We enter and enable this code for this integration to work smoothly. Okay. In automation script, we go to more actions, create, and create a script with an object launch point. We select this one and we create a script with a launch point. and object event condition, and we set all these conditions for our integration and this functionality to work. So for as an example, let's try and create an script with object launch point. For example, I'm creating a launch point with the name incident test. Okay. Object would be incident because we are doing it for incidents application. Object is incident. Object is incident. Done. And this is the condition. We need to put a condition here. If that condition is true and met, then this automation script, a particular automation script will run. So that condition we need to enter here, and the condition that we are looking for is the create Jira ticket value should be 1 and Jira endpoint should not be null. If these two conditions are met, then a particular automation script that we are about to enter will run. If it is not met, then it would not run. Okay. So I'm adding these two conditions. Create Jira ticket is equal to 1. From here you can search your conditions. Jira endpoint should Jira endpoint and is not null. We have here conditions is not null. Right. So this is how we are creating two conditions for an automation script to work. Your create Jira ticket should be on. One is when we say one, it means that radio button, that checkbox is turned on. So we want that means we want our Jira ticket to be created in Jira for a MAXIMO-IT incident. And Jira endpoint is not null because obviously the system will need an endpoint and a domain name where the Jira is installed so that it can copy over your ticket there, right? So Jira endpoint can anyway not be null. That is quite obvious. So these two are kind of obvious conditions for this integration. One of this integration use cases to work. We'll also discuss these use cases going forward in the video. So these are the two do event conditions that must be met so that the automation script runs, and this integration use case, that is creating Jira ticket for a corresponding MAXIMO-IT ticket, is done, is executed smoothly and nicely. Okay, so this was my example incident test where you are adding these conditions, right? Now I have after this the event should initialize value. It should be done on update. It should be after save. Those conditions are also given, right? We'll talk about that also. So the main point here is to enter these two conditions, and these conditions should be done as mentioned here. So these two conditions, they are also there in our MAXIMO-IT docs for the users to go and refer to while configuring it. So all these conditions and how to set this condition will also be mentioned there. So you can go and refer these conditions and what automation script to enter, what code to enter. From there also it is all inside the docs. Okay. So I've added these two object event conditions. Going down, we have this events. It should initialize value, right? It should save. Sorry, it should be save. And then it should update. It should add. Sorry, it should add. It should be done after saving, and the script should be new. and then you click on next, and then it takes you to automation script to application, and then you save this. Then this is saved. So I'm canceling it for now. I'm showing you the one that is already there, an automation script that is already created there. So I'll cancel all this. Into cancel, yes. Okay, so I've already created one here with the name, no, not incident, Jython. Jython. Here it is. This is our automation script. Okay, this was created the same way that we just saw. And inside automation script, we are going to launch points to see what we exactly just we were setting there. So this is the launch point that we were setting there. I'll open it, incident test. This is the exact same one. So incident test, this is active, and as you can see, all these things are set. Launch point variables we don't need. So object event condition is set, and all of those things are also set. Okay. So this is how you set your launch points. Going to the automation script, go to the automation script tab here. Going down to the automation script, this is the automation script that should be entered to make this integration work. You can find this script in MAXIMO-IT doc, from where you can just simply copy over and paste the script here, and it will do its work while doing the integration, right? Script language is Jython, log level is debug. These two things should be set. Going back to the list view, this is one of the automation script. Another one is update incident. There is one more automation script that should be enabled for this. Jython we have already covered, and it was, I think, update incident. Yes, update incident. Going to the launch point. Now this one doesn't have any launch points. This one doesn't need any launch point nor any conditions to run. It will just run to update your incidents there on Jira tickets. So this automation script needs to be copy pasted. Again, its script language is Jython and log level is debug. And again, you can find this script code inside the docs, from where you can simply copy over and paste it. No conditions needed for this automation script, right? So this is the automation script part. Once this is done, your configuration from the MAXIMO-IT point of view is completed. And as you can see, we have forgot to turn off the admin mode, which should always be off. So I'm just trying to turn it off now. It is static to set mode off. So do remember to turn the admin mode off once you have already applied all your configuration changes. Only keep it on for the duration you are changing anything in your objects or in your database configuration application. Once that is done, just turn it off from here, right? Let's just wait for it to turn off. So this is the entire MAXIMO-IT configuration that we need to do before running our use cases. Next, we'll see what configurations we need to do on Jira. Okay, so let's move on to our Jira to start up with the Jira configurations.
So for JIRA, I will be referring to this documentation. You will have similar one for JIRA. Okay. So first is the status mapping.json and priority mapping.json. These are the two files that we need. What they do is the code reads these two JSON files to perform the integration. So these two JSON files, they need to be set in the they need to be set for the configuration to work. So to do that setting, we need to go to our OpenShift console here, go into workloads, This is the OpenShift console, right? And we go to the workloads, and inside workloads we go to pods, okay? And in pods, this is where we set our these two JSON files. So the project should be mass inst1 managed. This should be the project that is selected. You can select it from this drop down. And when you select this project, we'll search for a particular file that is, one second, this one, inst1 mass local. So we will open this file. We will go to this is the one that we need, and we'll go to the terminal, and here we will set out a path, and we'll create these two files and add some data in two files. So it starts cd opt ibm wlp output default server. That's it. It is. So I've listed the files. As you can see, we have two JSON files here, priority mapping, status mapping. We need to add some data into these two files. So what data should be added to these two files, you can find it in the documentation. It is given there. Just add that exact data. So let's open up. I've already added it. Let's open up these files, JSON. This is the data. This is a small thing. You can find it in the docs also. Okay. This is one. Another one, let's see status mapping. Oops. Yes, this is the data inside status mapping. Okay. So these two data, what data to add, you can find it in the docs part. So your two JSON files should be there in this console, and those two JSON files should have this respective data. And this is our starting point to configure JIRA and the integration helper. Okay. So this is, let's go back and I will just see one more time. This is the pod that you need to select. This is the your JSON files, and inside this is how you add your data to these JSON files. This was the console part. Another is the Jira part. So we'll be following a few steps here. So the first one being installing Jira. So you need to select a server and install your Jira server on that machine. Okay. Once you do that, it would look something like this. This is how our Jira looks, and this is our home page. And from here, first step would be to create project in Jira. So if you go to the projects here and create project, and you need to select task management next, and then you need to give a name and a key to your project. Okay, and these name and key, this is very important for this integration and for your Jira to set up. Okay, so I've already created a project, ICD Jira IJ. I'm opening it up. So I've opened up my project, Jira project, ICD Jira, and IJ is the key that it was asking you to enter. So this is the IJ is the key, and ICD Jira is the project name. So to start with anything, you need to have admin rights. So if you have admin rights, then you can do the steps that we will be further talking about, like creating custom fields in Jira here. So going like to create this custom field or do anything else that we do henceforth in Jira, you will need admin rights. Okay, and for once you have those admin rights, there is an indicator if you have if you do have those admin rights or not. Let me So one thing to know is to have admin rights. Once you have the admin rights, you will see this wrench icon, administration. If you do not have an admin right, you will not see this wrench, and we do need it to work with JIRA for this integration. Sorry. So do make sure you have admin rights. Then you will see this wrench point here. Okay, and with this will be now used to make changes to JIRA configuration or to set any JIRA configuration. Okay, so we'll create custom fields first. So I will go to this range and select issues. Now this would require you to log in for administrator access. So next we will be selecting custom fields, since we want to create a new custom field. This opens up. We need to create 3 custom fields here. So we'll start with the first one, add custom field. And we will select text field, since that is the custom field we are looking to create. Let's search it from this menu. Here it is, text field, single line. So we select this one and next. So it's asking for a name. Let's give it a name, say MAXIMO-IT ticket ID. Good. Select issue types. So this we need to select it as a task and a subtask, like this, and select a project. We need to select our project ICT JIRA. This is the one, and then create. So once your custom field is created, it shows in the URL. As you can see here, custom field and slash there is a number. So this indicates that your custom field has been created and you need to note this URL. So I am noting it here. And this is an indicator that your custom field is created. Also, if you study this URL, you can see this custom field underscore 10009. This is your custom field number, 1009. So you need to note this down, like you need to make a note of it as it will be used in a further steps. So just make a note of this custom field number. Okay, it will be written in the script for the integration mapping. So our first custom field was created. Let's try searching it from here. We created MAXIMO-IT ticket ID. MAXIMO-IT ticket ID. Here it is, as you can see. Just select it. So to configure it, we need to configure it now. So select it, config, and view custom fields. And we will search for it again. This is the one. Now we need to select the screens on which we want to see this. Okay. So we'll go here, select screens. This is where we want to see this custom field that we just created. So we'll select this one, create issue screen, view, edit view issue screen, and resolve issue screen. Okay, so we'll select these three. This is where we want to view our uh, custom field. So we can just select it and save. Likewise, we need to create two more, that is ICD ticket UID and ICD created by. And again, we need to note the custom field ID for for these two as well. So these three custom fields we need to create using the same way that we just saw. Okay. So our next point would be to create an API token in JIRA. So if you remember in the previous MAXIMO-IT configuration, we talked about an API token. We entered it during the endpoint configuration inside MAXIMO-IT. So this is the same API token. Now here we will be generating this API token, which is then used there. So how do we do it in JIRA? How do we create this API token in JIRA? We'll be seeing that now. So we go to profile from here, and then we go to personal access tokens. So if we find this one, so we will revoke it and create a new one. So we'll revoke it and it is gone. Okay. So now we will create a new one. So we go down and create token. We will give it a name. Say I'm giving it a name with token, and all of these are set and create. Now this is the token that is created. You need to copy it and save it, which will be used later in endpoint configuration in MAXIMO-IT. So you need to again save it because you won't be able to see this again. So you just copy it and save it now and close this thing. This creates your API token in JIRA. So this was the fourth step that we were doing. Okay. Now the next step is installing automation rule plugin in JIRA. So automation rule is a plugin that is available in JIRA and we need it to make our integration work. Okay. So let's just like any other plugins that we install for a browser or an applications, we do it for JIRA as well. So how do we do it? We go to JIRA, we go to this wrench and manage apps. Find new apps, and then here we search for automation for JIRA. Let's enter and we get a list. So we want to install this one, automation for JIRA. There is one more, automation for JIRA server. Like this is not the one that we need. We will need this one, automation for JIRA. So you need to just click on install. Since I've already installed, it is showing manage. Otherwise, it should have would have showed an install button. So just to click on that, and it just installs automation for JIRA plugin for you, and that does your step number 5. Okay. Now the last step, that is creating automation rules to add webhook in JIRA. So now this is the kind of a main step that makes all this integration and all the previous work worthwhile. Okay. So what we do is we make automation rules. These automation rules, they act like a coordinator between any edit that is done in JIRA and to make them visible in the MAXIMO-IT interface as well. So there is a use case that we'll be talking about in the upcoming video, that when you add a comment in JIRA, it also appears in MAXIMO-IT. This is the use case, one of the use case that this integration allows. So how is that done? This is done by automation rules. These automation rules are set by us, and these will be invoked when any comment is added in JIRA. It also syncs and appears in MAXIMO-IT. Okay, so for that we need to start making this automation rule, and there is a process for that. Let's start with it. We will again find our wrench. We'll go to system. Inside system, we will go to automation rules. There you are. And then all rules. Now we need to make a new rule. Okay, so these are the two that we need. We have already created, but let's just see how these rules are created. So I'll show you how to create a new rule. We need to create these two rules: create ICD work log and update ICD incident. I'll show what all is added in here, but first let's just have a look at how to create one. So create rule. So we need a field value changed rule. So we will select this field. So we need a field value change rule. Okay, we select this one. So inside select a field, let me just select the applicable fields. Then I'll show what this really means. Transition. Yes. So these are the fields that we need to select. So priority selector field, we need to select those fields that we that will be updated, like priority field and status field. And for when they will be updated, if an issue is edited or if there is a transition issue that we are selecting. Fields to monitor for changes. It is saying these two fields we are entered, we are selecting them, and for edit issue and transition issue, this is like when do we need these fields to be monitored for a change. Okay, so this is selected, more options, and we save it. Done. So this is one rule is created. We go to new action and notifications and send web request, and this is the webhook URL. So here we need to enter webhook URL. This is your MAXIMO-IT URL, an API MAXIMO-IT API URL. So this gives the JIRA system information that where from which MAXIMO-IT address it need to update for any changes that are done in JIRA. So let me show you the one that is already created. There you will be able to see how what this URL looks like. So this is the one, update ICD incident. Let's open it up and open the automation rule for this one. When this is, see, we have added summary priority status field for edit issue and transition issue as we saw earlier. Now go to the automation rule and see, this is the webhook URL. As you can see, an API key is also attached with this one. This is for authentication purposes, so that it recognizes, MAXIMO-IT recognizes that this is the JIRA URL that is expecting my response. Okay, so this is the webhook URL, and the syntax for this webhook URL you can find in the JIRA docs, in IBM docs. So syntax would be given. You need to just fill in the values, the exact values using that syntax. It's all given inside our docs. Okay, so this was the one automation rule that you need to create. Return to list, and another one is create ICD workload. This is the second automation rule that you need to create. So same procedure, with on just a difference that when issue commented, we are doing it for when a comment is added in JIRA, it should reflect back in MAXIMO-IT. So for that, automation rule would be like this: we will have a MAXIMO-IT webhook URL, okay, like this, of course, and then your HTTP method is this webhook URL, and there will be a custom data that should be here. Now this custom data, this code line you can find in the docs. Okay, this should be exactly like this, and you can copy that from there. Of course, pertaining to your changes according to your MAXIMO-IT location and JIRA location, and you can put HTTP method as post, webhook body as that URL and then just save all this. Returning back to projects, and now you can see a work log tab here below. You can see this work log. Similarly, this kind of tab will also be present in MAXIMO-IT, which will be synced. Once you add a comment here, they will reflect back in MAXIMO-IT's work log as well. So the syncing is done. Now to visualize how this works, since we are done with the configuration, we will see how this integration works and what do we mean when we say these rules are automated, these changes are synced. So let's jump on to our uh, setup and see how this use cases are done. Okay, since configuration is done, let's execute one of the use cases.
So we are inside MAXIMO-IT application. I'll be opening up the incidents application. So this is the incident application. So first we will try to create a new incident and see how it will be reflected in JIRA. So as you know, we can create any ticket in this incident application using the new incident action. So when we create a new incident here, we can also get it reflected in JIRA as a JIRA task. And this is very useful for teams that want to use MAXIMO-IT for ticketing, and then for issue tracking, they want to use JIRA. So both can be integrated. This is JIRA software, so we have it installed on this VM in this IP, as you can see 172.20.152.1.3. So this is we have it installed over here, and we'll try to test like how this integration works. So going back to incidents, I'm trying to create a new incident. This is an incident. This is Jira endpoint that we have to define. This is where our Jira is installed. Okay, so we are giving the URL, and we want to create a Jira ticket corresponding to this incident. So I check that as yes, and I add a summary. This is just a ticket description. So let me add something here. Say login issue. Yeah, so submit now. So our incident is now submitted. Now we'll go to Jira and just simply refresh the page. And as you can see, we have our Jira issue created here. Login issue. Open it. So IJ21. This is the Jira ticket that is created now. For this, here we have the ID as 1065. As you can see, ICD ticket ID it is showing as 1065, and 88 is the Jira ticket ID. That is ICD ticket UID. This is the Jira ticket. That's 88. So it is just the Jira task corresponding to that one, right? So now let's try the three use cases that we discussed earlier. Let's try making a change here in the description part, and we'll see how it reflects at MAXIMO-IT ticket, right? So let's change it. Login issue resolved and save it, right? And then we are going back to MAXIMO-IT. Simply go back, list view, and I will search for that ticket 1065. Here we have it, and you can see login issue resolved. It is, the summary is changed. We changed it from there, right? And it's changed here also. So this is how like this another one. Let's try adding a comment here. This was the second use case, updating the comments. I'm adding hi, and I'm simply adding it. We'll see how it reflects back in MAXIMO-IT in the form of logs. Let me open this ticket first. Let's just refresh the page. Search for the ticket again. Go to the log, and in the work log tab, you can see, open this, and you can see hi in the summary. This is the comment that we just added in Jira. So here it will be visible as in the summary part, right? Let's try another one. Go back to Jira. I'll add one more comment. I'll see how these are populated there. So hello, this is the second comment that I'm adding. Add, Hi is still there. I'm just adding hello as well. Let's go back there. Search for the ticket again. Open it. Logs. Work log. Yeah. See, as you can see, there are two created. One is for high, the older one that we just had a look at, and the one above this is for hello. See. So this is how your comments will be populated as logs in your work log tab. So these are the three use cases.
So now you know how the Maximo IT and Jira integration works, how this syncing of ticketing and Jira ID being created, how this all operation is being synced. Uh, and the second thing we learned about is the three use cases of Jira integration. That is when we create a Maximo IT incident, we create a corresponding Jira incident as well, and any changes made from the Jira side in terms of description, summary, or adding comments, they are all getting reflected in MaximoIT in the form of work logs. The comments are getting reflected as work log, and the description changes are getting reflected in the summary part. So all the ticketing, all the things happening on the ticket with the ticket, they are all being synced and they are like in parallel. So this was all about the Maximo IT and Jira integration. Thank you.